Welcome to Deep Speak, where we ask the questions to the answers of the universe.
Mm-hmm.
So that, if you read your horoscope, right, you look for the meaning.
That power of suggestion.
How does this relate to me?
Yep.
Yeah, how does it relate to me? And so you can, and there's nothing wrong with that because it can be a very positive experience, right? Like it can help you maybe identify things about yourself, become a little bit more aware of knowing thyself.
Well, in my denial years, that was one of my tests, was I would go through my day and then sometimes read a horoscope, either intentionally or just by accident.
Right.
Like, hey, the horoscope just, the newspaper landed in my lap or something.
Mm-hmm.
And then a lot of times it would still line up after the fact. Like, that's very specifically what I experienced. But I still dismissed it because it was like, well, again, am I just assigning my own meaning to it,
Right, exactly. Am I looking for how it relates to me? And so I played a game quite a few times because I was heavily into horoscopes. 2007, I think. And I was like, because I was going through divorce and all kinds of stuff. It was just like, it was a hard time. So I was like, I'm looking for anything to help me through this and to tell me that things are going to be better. And horoscopes kind of offered that to me. Like, you're fine. You're going to be okay. I feel like a lot of astrology does that, or at least good astrology does that, I think good anything that's, if it's tarot or psychic or astrology or any of these sort of wooey-hooey things, they can provide comfort or guidance towards where you're going, I guess. But I realized, I started to play this game where I realized I took a horoscope and I blocked out what sign it was for. And I read it as if it was my own, and to see if I was able to relate to it, not knowing, it was just random. I didn't know if it was mine or it wasn't mine. And I played that game to just see, like, does it resonate with me? Is it for me? And, it depends on, what astrologist or who's interpreting, blah, blah, blah. And they all related. And I was like, oh, I don't know if I can believe in this sort of thing. Then.
Yeah, that's interesting.
And sometimes we want to believe, and that sometimes is good and healthy. And so that's why I feel like, you have to be discerning in anything that you're going to follow or have a guide towards. Is it benefiting you? That's the question you should always ask yourself. Is it helping or is it hurting? And there are lots of psychics that play on your negative emotions. And you could take a tarot card, you could take an astrology reading, and you can turn it into good or bad, right? Like in any situation. And you can cause fear in someone, which, who knows, does that then all of a sudden, law of attraction, attract in the bad thing to happen?
Right.
And we talked about that. Like, the influence of psychics can be pretty damaging if you're leaning on somebody else's intuition or interpretation and then influencing your emotions, your behavior, and your attraction.
Yeah, and this is really interesting. Not just attractions, not in the movie, but we rewatched the Matrix trilogy, with the Oracle in it. And it's just interesting because I think when those came out, I was just sort of personally awakening to all of these things, but I still didn't quite understand a lot of it. But now that's almost 20 years old for the last two movies. Now I understand them more with like probability in regards to the Oracle being like a prophet, but she's within the Matrix herself, and so she's a program. So that's just really interesting how she influenced everyone based on what she would say to them,
Yeah.
So I don't know how to tie that in, but simulation and probability, all seem, and what we call psychics, all kind of interconnect in their own weird way. They're all related to like different paths of life, basically, Well, choices, like how important is choice? Like, do we actually, that's the whole free will question too, but is there free will within a game, or is there only certain choices, or is there never a choice at all based on probability?
It's always an illusion of choice.
Right.
You've just heard a deep bite from our Deep Speak podcast. To hear the full episode, head on over to deepspeakpodcast.com. While you're there, come hang out with us and join the Deep Speak community at the Deep Speak Club, our members-only area, where you can find exclusive members-only content, courses, chats, merchandise, and more. Come get deep with us at deepspeakpodcast.com. See you all there.